Our chief White House correspondent, John Karl, our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, here in the studio as well. And John, let me begin with you. The White House, no comment yet from the White House. Paul Manafort was fired from his position as campaign chair last August, but he played a significant role in the campaign for 5 months, as did Rick Gates.
Absolutely. Manafort was the person that ran the convention for the president, helped choose his vice presidential running mate. So a significant step here, somebody so close to the president. But George, looking through this indictment of 30-plus pages, the one thing that the White House will seize on is the fact that there is no mention in here of obstruction of justice regarding the president. There is no mention here of anything regarding collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. No mention whatsoever of the Trump campaign or, in fact, of President Trump. So this is a damning indictment of somebody who was very close to the president, very influential in getting him elected president, but it refers, at least in the corners of this indictment, refers entirely to things in Manafort's own personal dealings, not with the campaign.
Yeah, let's bring that to Dan Abrams, our chief legal analyst as well. It covers a period of time from about 2006 to 2017, the charges in the indictment, but nothing inside that indictment about campaign activity.
That's right, but let's be clear. This investigation is not over. This is just the first step for Mueller and his team. But it is absolutely true and absolutely fair to say this had nothing to do with Donald Trump, meaning the indictment itself. And as I read through, I took notes for myself on all the key points in the indictment. Basically, they're saying that he was hiding income that he was making by working for Ukrainian officials. He then laundered...
Pro-Russian Ukrainian officials.
Exactly. Pro-Russian Ukrainian officials. He laundered much of the money. There's a quote in there, he said, lived a lavish lifestyle in the United States without paying taxes on much of that money. They then go through that $75 million flowed through those offshore accounts, that they defrauded U.S. banks, hid their lobbying work by not reporting it as required by law, and they lied about it in tax filings and other official documents.
I guess the question you would have, special counsel was appointed to look into the collusion questions and anything that was related to it. Would they bring these charges if they didn't at least have suspicions about broader activities?
Yeah. I mean, look, these are federal prosecutors who, when they see a crime, are going to pursue it. They're not just going to say, well, you know, yeah, these are all serious crimes, but yeah, that's not really for us. This is certainly within the purview of the independent counsel and the team. And as a result, it is not surprising that they're bringing these charges. I still believe that if this were a typical case, they would be using this as leverage to try to turn Manafort. The question remains, when the president has the power of the pardon, does that still have the kind of weight, meaning the ability to say, look, you help us, we'll help you. Manafort's position may be, I don't need your help because I have the president. We don't know that to be the case, but that has got to be something that's considered here.
And John Karl, in the past, the president had talked to people about perhaps firing special counsel Robert Mueller. He appears to have taken that off the table in recent weeks. The White House also saying they're not discussing pardons right now.
Absolutely, he has denied that repeatedly, that it's even a subject of discussions, and they've taken the idea of firing Mueller off the table. But the one thing that the president has said is that if this investigation were to look into the financial dealings of the Trump organization, that would be something of a red line for this president. So the question is, how do they look at this? Remember, this was a special counsel that was appointed to look into the idea or the allegations of collusion with the Russians, to look into the allegations of obstruction of justice. This is an indictment that looks at neither of those issues. So one thing that's potentially very troubling to the president is the special counsel has shown a willingness to look beyond his original mandate.
John, one more point on Paul Manafort. He was essentially fired from the campaign back in August after some of these payments from the Ukrainians were revealed in public.
He was fired, and at the time, I was told by senior people on the Trump campaign that was a reason for his firing. It wasn't the only reason, but it was a key reason in his firing. What's interesting, though, is Rick Gates, at least for a time, remained on the campaign and then came back during the transition and was actually the #2 person on the Trump inaugural committee.
And now he works for a close friend of President Trump as well, Tom Barrack, the financier. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.